So every Thursday morning, I usually get a text from my dear friend Vivian, our church administrator. And the text says, the newsletter is ready now. It's ready for your review. Donna and I have made all our final tweaks, and it's ready for your review. So, I go and I open it up, and boom, and I mean boom, there was this stunning picture right there at the top of the newsletter. Did you love that picture? Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. God's plan is better than anything you could ever imagine. It comes by grace. We're going to explore that this morning. So I have two questions to start our morning with. The first question is, do you think the world is going to hell in a handbasket? Do you think that's what's going on? The world is going to hell in a handbasket. That's what's happening. Or do you think there is a divine evolutionary process at play that is God's plan? That something greater than can be imagined is at play and is coming forth. Now here's the thing. Which one of these it is for you is huge. Because if you believe the world is going to hell in a handbasket, it's going to be very difficult for you to find and align with your purpose in this world. If you believe this world is going to hell in a handbasket and you're buying into that, it's going to be really difficult for you to notice what's going on, what's really going on in God's plan, to find and align with your purpose in this world. But if you truly believe that a divine evolutionary process is at play, leading us to something greater than we could ever imagine, it's going to be much easier for you to move closer and align with who you are in this great moment in history. It's critical in how we look at that. Critical in how we look at that. We're going to continue to look at this idea this morning that many rising in consciousness is embedded in nature. It's embedded in nature. That this individual and collective rising in consciousness is an organic principle in nature at play right now. Okay? But we're going to add to that in that it comes to us by grace. We're going to look and see that the universe is up to creating something, and it comes by grace. We're going to look and see what grace comes through. What does grace come to us through? What allows for that grace in our life and in this world? The New Thought teacher, the Unity teacher, Eric Butterworth, said that grace is the natural flow of the creative process. Do we believe that's at play right now? Grace is the natural flow of the creative process in that individual and in this world. Grace is the flow of energy taking you and all of us to our new creation. It's embedded in nature. It takes us to our new humanity. It's taking us to our new earth. So the call is this morning, let the universe shape itself. Are you with me? Let the universe shape itself. The universe is going to rise in consciousness. It's organic. It's organic. The universe and its plan is always on the way to greater levels of freedom, greater order, and greater expression of the divine and greater expression of its wholeness. That's God's plan. A greater expression of its wholeness is God's plan. And it comes by grace and an organic principle in nature. So I'm really enjoying ChatGPT these days. Who else is playing around with that? I mean, if you're not, this is the zeitgeist of the day, right? This thing is powerful. You talk about being able to assemble information in a flash. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Use it. What I'm also finding is that as we rise in consciousness and we begin to understand spiritual principles and integrate them into our lives and really begin to notice what they are, what I notice about AI is our questions become even better, right? Now, AI is not always correct, I found out. And it's not always intelligent, I found out. All right? But it is extremely powerful in gathering and interpreting existing information in a flash. So I asked AI a question this week. The question I asked it was this. I knew the answer, but I wanted to see if it really was intelligent, right? Let's just see how intelligent you are. So my question was this: how is grace related to the union of opposites? How is grace related to the union of opposites? This is AI's answer. The concept of grace plays a profound role in the union of opposites. Grace enables a transcendence of polarities. Grace enables individuals or systems to move beyond the limitations imposed by dualistic thinking. Instead of being stuck in binary opposition, grace opens up the possibility of a higher truth or a deeper understanding that integrates both sides of the opposition into a more comprehensive whole. That's God's plan. Are you with me? Yeah. It had number 2 for grace. How is grace related to the union of opposites? Here's its second answer. Grace facilitates growth and evolution. Grace is a transformative force that facilitates personal or collective growth. By embracing grace, individuals may experience inner healing, reconciliation of conflicts, and a deeper alignment with spiritual truths that can transcend dualistic thinking. Can somebody say, wow? I think we have our answer. I think we have our answer for the day. We just have to find out what does grace come by? What does it come through? Grace and its union as opposite is what will bring us through our day and into our new humanity and our new earth. So now the next question is, what is the union of opposites? What really is it? What really is the union of opposites? The answer is, it's faith. It's faith. It's not fear. It is faith in the plan of God, or if you prefer, as more say it today, it is the faith in the plan of the source of the universe. That's what it is. You're bringing the two together as one, right? You and that plan, you and God's plan become one. Fear sells, but grace saves us from the collective ego's love of power. It saves us through faith. Are you with me? Yeah, see, this is a pattern. We've been taught this. Many of us attended Sunday school or synagogue or wherever we went. And it was put into a religion, but really it's a pattern in the universe. That's what it is. Okay? And that's what I'm inviting all of us to see this morning. There's a pattern here. At this time, fear sells, grace through faith saves. It's going to bring us out of this love of power. It saves us from false polar ideas, such as I've got to win and someone's got to lose for there to be life to the full. I've got to win, somebody's got to lose for me to realize prosperity. That's polarization. All opposites, all the polarization in our country is transcended through our faith in God's plan for our life, our country, and this planet. And the plan may be beyond our limiting categories in which we place our ideas into. Are you with me? There may be something greater at play than our existing categories, right? Stay tuned, stay in faith, not fear. Let the universe shape itself without getting trapped into judgment. There is an organic principle in nature at work to assemble the people in one conscious body, the church. So I ask another really, really interesting question for AI, and this time I ask it from the real perspective of a unitic. You know? Have you heard that term before? Yeah, unitic. It's all those that are very enthusiastic about the unity teachings. So I ask AI this question. Did Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, teach that faith is the key to uniting opposites to the portal of the kingdom of heaven? Is faith the key to uniting opposites and moving into that space of who we really are? Who we really are is a portal between God's plans and its manifestation. That's what you are. You are the open portal. You know, I believe it's in John 10, where Jesus says, I am the gate. I am the gate. You are the gate. You are an open portal between this kingdom of heaven consciousness and its manifestation. It's who you are. So you're moving back into dwelling that. So I asked AI, did Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, teach that faith is the key to united opposites to the open portal to the kingdom of heaven? Here's its answer. Yes. Charles Fillmore emphasized the role of faith as essential in uniting opposites and opening the way to experience the kingdom of heaven. In Fillmore's teaching, faith is not merely belief in something external or abstract, but an active, powerful force that aligns one's consciousness with spiritual principles and truths. This time, AI was intelligent, right? Grace comes through faith. Grace, God's great plan for all of us that is in heaven, comes through faith. It comes through making the two as one. Always. Always. There's no exceptions to that. Faith is making the kingdom of heaven consciousness and our life as one while we let grace shape this world. There's a powerful teaching in Matthew 6. I wonder if you want to advance it to that. About faith in the universe's plan to shape itself to higher orders of divine expression through sacred relationship. And it goes like this. The eye of the body, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, faith in the pineal gland, right? What it is, when you move into that single eye, you begin to move into a consciousness where you see that it's all an interplay. It's all an interplay. Good and evil interplay. What happens with the word good, we reach those points, and this is what the word good means in this case when you use both of those words. It means that you've reached a structure that's static. You know, if you look at a tulip a million years ago, today, if it bursts forth, it'll be a tulip again, right? But that's not the case for a human, okay? What it's saying, if thine eye be single, I can all of a sudden see this interplay. And what evil is, it's a disruption of that static structure. Are you with me? You know, that's the way the organic process works. It disrupts. I mean, can you imagine if one day the White House calls this conference and said, now here's the deal. We have 12 basic structures. We got education, we got religion, we got food, we got politics. I mean, you go on to those major 12. And what we're going to do, we're going to change them all. We're just going to do it. Are you in? There would be complete chaos, right? Yeah. But all this interruption that's going on to the existing structure is part of the organic process. That's the way the interplay is. The question is, can you not get sucked into it? Can you step back and see something greater is at play? When you step back and you see that something greater is at play, Then you can notice what's your part in it, right? And listen to what it says. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, in other words, I'm in that space where I see that all is working together as one, the whole body will be filled with light. But if thine eye be evil, stuck in polarized thinking, okay? If thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. It's grace through faith, through bringing two together as one, God's plan and your life together as one, that's going to bring the new. Will it be that, or will it be polarity and despising one another? You know, here's something about an organic principle. The organic principle of God gives us free will. You with me? It doesn't ever manipulate us. You know, there's a book, and I've talked to several people in Unity who have read this book, and it talks about how we have actually extinguished ourselves 6 different times on this planet. Could happen again, right? It could happen again. It absolutely could happen again. But the universe is going to go on because embedded in it is rising in consciousness. Now, what's unique about us right now in this space and time, we are evolving a prefrontal cortex, right? We have the potential to see what's being shared this morning and to believe it, to have faith in it, to step our feet into it. What's the point here this morning for our current situation? The point is this. We must stop believing the false idea we are going to heal our divisions through the intellect. Never going to happen. There are being billions upon billions upon billions of dollars trying to persuade us through intellectual ideas, right? It's not the way the organic process works. It has to do with stopping our attachment to the need to get people to see that our polar view and thinking will fix the problems and heal the divisions. They're not going to do it, okay? The only thing that will heal our divisions is sacred relationship. Two as one. Let's go back to the 2 commandments we were given. They're both sacred relationship. They both take you into who you are. Okay? You are the open portal between the kingdom of heaven, God's plan, and its manifestation. That's who you are. So what are our first 2 commandments? It's be in sacred relationship with the divine and its plan for your life, right? Love God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. Be in love with that. And the other is to love one another as yourself, right? You see, we see those as just commandments, like, let's just do them. But this is more powerful than you can imagine. It's more powerful than you can imagine. It has the potential to transform our life in this world. Sacred relationship is faith. Sacred relationship is namaste. Now, in Unity, we say that Peter is faith, right? What does he see in Christ, the Christ? Thou art the Christ, right? It's a namaste moment for him. And it's only the Christ that can see the Christ, right? That was the beginning of the transformation. So faith, making 2 in the one, is our key. Now, in the Gospel of Thomas, it says, when you make the 2 in the one, you shall become the Son of Man. And when you say mountain move, it shall move. So let's look at that term, the Son of Man. What's being said here? When it says son, it says you're in a free, liberated state where you're making choices that are not from conditioning. Are you with me? Yeah. You're absolutely free. When it says man, it's saying that you have moved in. When you made the 2-1, you moved into this state of what is called cosmic fertility. What's that mean? That's a big word, right? Cosmic fertility. It means that you are so connected with the cosmos and its plan that it can birth through you. When you make the two and the one, you shall become that. More powerful than you can imagine. And you've been there, and it's more common than you think. Pay attention. Pay attention when you're in sacred relationship with another. You know this from your own relationships. That when you finally dropped the need to be right and you met each other, something happened. Something beautiful happens. You know, in the canonized gospel, it says, if you have faith of the mustard seed, you shall say, move mountain, and it shall move. They're both saying the same thing. What is your faith in? Is it in God's plan? So let me visit those two questions we started with. Do you think the world is going to hell in a handbasket? Do you think that's what's going on? Or do you think there is a divine evolutionary process at play that is God's plan? That something greater than can be imagined is coming forth and is at play. Which is it for you? If you think it's going to hell in a handbasket, it's going to be very difficult to see the divine plan in your own individual life. If you could step back from it, detach from it, begin to be very connected within. What is this for me? How am I to show up? How am I to be in this world? That's going to make it much easier for you to move closer and align with this great moment in history. And we are living in one. We're living, certainly in our lifetimes. I don't think there'd be a soul in here would say that if it's not, it's one of them. We're in a great moment in history. So I'd like to close this talk, if the musicians want to come forward, and visit a story about Abraham Lincoln. Now, if there's anyone who's trusted God's plan, in the middle of chaos, can we agree it with him? Yeah. So I've read that Abraham Lincoln, for 5 years, after many political failures, many failures in his life, for 5 years he would sit and rock in a rocking chair. What is mine? What is mine? What is mine? Day in and day out for 5 years. And after 5 years, he noticed the deep calling and said yes to it. He got the call and he followed it. Now that's faith. That's easy to see. So it became that day where the great vote was coming, right? To begin our journey of setting the slaves free. On that day, if you read the stories, if you read the history, the politicians were in complete polarized panic. Chaos, absolute polarization regarding how the vote would go, but he was not. He was not. You know what he was doing? He was at home when that vote was being taken, rocking in his rocking chair with his child, reading him a story. Are you with me? He did his work. Yes, he did his work. Yes, he had a passion. Something greater called grace he knew was at work. He knew that was out in front of him. His intuition told him. He'd moved his feet. He'd done his work. He'd followed his inner guidance. He was trusting the physics, are you with me, of amazing grace. He was trusting the physics of amazing grace. Was he passionate about his politics? He was passionate about loving his neighbor. Sacred relationship. In all its form is what's going to take us to our new day. That's faith too. That too is the power of two as one to bring our new day by grace and grace alone. Two as one is who you are. Why is the two commandments first shared with us? Why is that an emphasis? Why did Jesus boil it all down to just those two? Because in those two, you are in that portal that you are. Are you with me? In those two, they're both sacred relationship. They're both that powerful. So stay focused on being God and God's plan in your life for this world. That's the way. That's the only way. Namaste. Namaste.